And when you look at creation, then you see these trees and just all of God's creation. It's hard to imagine, right, that all of this was an accident, like it was just a coincidence, that there was nothing or little particles that suddenly formed all of this. But the moment your mind starts to go, you know what, there has to be a creator, the moment you start to go there, you go, then, but if he's so good and so powerful, why is there so much pain and suffering in this world? I mean, why right now am I standing at my mother's grave? If God is so good, why did she die while she was giving birth to me? It doesn't make sense. I mean, if he's all powerful, he could have stopped that. Why did the God who created laughter create tears? And the God who created life create death? And why if he's so good, after my dad remarried, why is it that when I finally had a mom again, that my stepmom dies in a car accident? I was only 8 years old. And then why, if we've got this holy, wonderful God, if he's so wonderful, why did my dad die of cancer when I was 12 years old? Explain that. I mean, I'm in middle school. I don't have parents anymore. And some of you have gone through things even more painful than that. And if God is so good, these are the thoughts that run through our mind because something doesn't seem right. We see all the beauty, we see all the majesty, but then we see the pain and go, man, this doesn't seem right. And that's exactly what the Bible teaches too. It says, look, this isn't the way it was meant to be. Something did go wrong. See, in Genesis 1, after God created the world and created Adam and Eve, he told them, look, everything here on this earth is for you. Okay, you rule over it, you take care of it, you enjoy it. He goes, but there's one tree and I don't want you to eat of that one tree. He goes, in fact, if you eat of that tree, everything's going to change. The moment God gave them that command, he was also giving them a choice. A choice between good and evil, a choice to obey or a choice to rebel. Had they obeyed, everything was going to be good. But because they rebelled, God warned them. He says, look, if you eat of that tree, you will die. Death will enter the world. And so when they were tempted and they ate of that, God had to come true with what he promised. He says, look, I told you. This was the warning. And right then, everything changed. And suddenly death entered the world, and there was a curse upon this earth. So when you and I look at things on this earth and go, something seems wrong, something seems off, we're absolutely right. This wasn't what he wanted. It wasn't what he intended. But what the Bible says is that one day, things are going to change, and he's going to redeem the world, and there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, and everything's going to be different. But until then, we're here, and we face pain. But the crazy thing about it is the Bible says that God can even use the pain that we're suffering right now for his glory. He can turn it into a good thing. That's why in James chapter 1, verse 2, he says, consider it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. He says, look, even if you're going through difficult times, you can find joy in that. In fact, you can count it all joy, because he says what God does is not just redeem the whole world, but he even redeems this pain in our lives. He says he can actually use it to make us stronger. It's the very thing that brings steadfastness or perseverance into us. And he says if you let it have its perfect result, then you yourself become mature and complete. That's why some of the elderly people that you know that have so much character and just seem so far beyond us, man, look into their lives. It's because they went through some pain and they made it through. And God says, that's the way I use pain. I can actually use it for your benefit, to make you a strong person, mature, complete, lacking in nothing. Because it's during those difficult times that we would actually draw close to him.